Hakeem Olufemi Gbajabiamila. God bless you all.
Hello and welcome to another interesting package of your weekly companion House Tickets, coming to you on the NTA Parliament. My name is Dihelia Mamza. The House is still on the break it took to enable lawmakers exercise their franchise. It is built to resume on the 28th of February 2023. On our lineup today, we shall bring you a report from the committee room where the House and Senate Committee on Drugs and Narcotics inaugurated the National Association of Nigerian Drug and Monitoring, NADRUM, in the FCT. The event held on Thursday, 16 February 2023 at the National Assembly with key stakeholders in attendance. We also had an extensive interview with the Chairman House Committee on Public Accounts, Representative Oluwole Oke, and he spoke on a range of issues. That interview also forms part of our program. Join me after the short timeout for the full program. I'll be back shortly.
The entire purpose of the legislative agenda is to direct our legislative resources and efforts in a coordinated effort to ensure the well-being of the individual in a life of safety and freedom. That is a high ambition, but it's well worth the effort. We have passed landmark legislation to fix our oil and gas industry, reform the police, and reorganize the corporate administration system in our country. We have considered and passed meaningful legislation that impacts all areas of our national life.
Welcome back. We shall begin with the report from the committee room where the House and Senate Committee on Drugs and Narcotics inaugurated NADRUM, an association that is meant to curb the menace of drug abuse in the society. The details of the event is compiled and presented in our first report. Keep watching.
From the Nigerian Correctional Services, a round of applause for him.
The inauguration held on Thursday, the 16th of February 2023.
Presented today by myself.
In her remarks during the event, Dr. Christabel Regan Okoye, who is the ambassador to the Committee on Drugs and Narcotics of both the House and the Senate, as well as the Executive Secretary of the National Association of Nigerian Drug and Monitoring, NADRUM, said the association was officially inaugurated on the 25th of February 2021 by the current Senate President, Senator Ahmed Lawan. She stated the purpose of the association as being to join hands with relevant federal government agencies to tackle the menace of drug abuse, illicit drug trafficking, as well as sensitize the public on the dangers of the scourge ravaging the society and, most importantly, bring medicine dealers together under one voice and vision. Dr. Okoye noted that medicine dealers make up the membership of the association nationwide. According to her, NADRUM has been inaugurated in many states across the country, and the recent one currently taking place in the FCT is an indication that the association is winning the war against drug abuse, illicit drug trafficking, and use of government-prohibited drugs.
This fight is a fight for all. We should all join hands together and achieve this goal. As members of this association and as a person, if we are really breathing in Nigeria, if we have homes, if we are mothers, if we are fathers, if we are youths, the fight is for every one of us.
Dr. Okoye congratulated the incoming FCT chairman of the association, Prince Timothy Ofegbu, as well as his executives on their new appointment. She added that the chairman has proven to be a great leader and his efforts are commendable.
I want to enjoin you all to please work with him effectively and efficiently in making Nando strive in FCT, which is the nation's capital, especially going to the communities and the motor parks to sensitize and talk about drug abuse.
She also appreciated the Chairman House Committee on Drugs and Narcotics Representative Francis Ota Agbo, as well as the chairman of the Senate Committee, Senator Hezekiah Ayuba Dimka, who were both unavoidably absent at the inauguration ceremony.
As you all know, campaign has started, hence their absence. I want to deeply appreciate them for giving me this great platform to bring to realization the objectives of this committee. I also extend my warmest greetings to the President of the Senate, who has already called and he's on his way, his representative, and all the delegates presented for National Assembly, our invited guests who made it here, despite their tight schedules and the challenges facing us as a nation now.
Let me express my happiness.
The acting clerk of the National Assembly, Alhaji Sani Magaji Tambuwal, who was represented at the event by Mr. Birma Shoaibu Maina, Acting Secretary of Human Resources and Staff Development Directorate of the National Assembly, stated that the inauguration could not have come at a better time, particularly because of the 2023 general elections.
I believe this is the very period that drugs consumption and drug abuses by the teeming youth could be on the increase on daily basis for obvious reasons. To my mind, this event will not only make attempt to suggest or provide some solutions towards minimizing the drugs abuse, consumption and trafficking by the drug dealers or barons and their agents who are dangerously positioned in our community across the 6 geopolitical zones in the country.
He expressed hope that there will be further suggestions on how to reduce the drug demands and prevention of dangerous drugs in various communities, knowing fully well the implication of allowing the drugs-related scourge to go on unchecked. Maina also commended the efforts of the Joint Committee, as well as the National Assembly as a whole, in supporting the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, and the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, as well as other sister agencies to synergize and tackle drug-related problems.
However, this can only be achieved by identifying the emerging challenges and ensuring the provisions of the adequate budgetary allocations to enable those agencies to carry out their statutory responsibilities very effectively. Of equal importance is the amendment of the laws establishing those agencies by blocking the identified loopholes, making adequate punitive provisions to enable our judicial system to do their work.
Stakeholders also made their contributions during the inauguration.
I wanted to say that the police is ready to work around the clock to ensure that these drug users are arrested and, of course, transferred to NDLEA for possible prosecution, and of course this will reduce the number of users in the society.
I want to say that it's a very good thing that NADRUM, like I comment from the beginning, is trying to collaborate with us. And to the member of the society, I have this to say: please do feel free to contact us. Be rest assured that your identity will be kept for your safety.
This program is coming at the right time when the commercial service has improved in its application program. This program includes medical and psychiatric service, chaplain service, vocational services, skill acquisition programs, educational program. These are the programs that we use to tackle this drug offender in our various correctional services.
We are looking at the issue of drugs abuse today. It's not only affecting the youth, but it's affecting the whole society. And it is high time we look at how we will take down the advocacy down to our local communities, partner with the youth, partner with the royal highnesses.
The first thing bad drug, the illicit drug does, to hit their brain, it will take their reasonings off. It will take away their reasoning. And when the reasoning is taken away, you just have chaff. So trying to get them and prosecute them is, I don't know. If you get, we are working on a rehabilitation center. When you get them, please, We need to rehabilitate them.
There was a cultural dance on display at the end of the event.
The program is House Ticket. As I mentioned when the program started, we shall be featuring an interview we had with lawmaker Oluwole Oke, chairman of the House Committee on Public Accounts. The Public Accounts Committee is a standing committee set up to hold government institutions accountable for use of public funds and resources by examining all related financial documents, including reports submitted by the Auditor General. Lawmaker Oke, while speaking with us, highlighted some major achievement of his committee since inception till date.
We've achieved quite a lot. We've taken the Auditor General's reports as at when due, as they may. Based on the time the General lays them, and then we've taken them holistically. We've engaged MDAs. We've had referral from the floor, and then we've dealt with them, timeously. We also have a bill on the establishment of the Office of the Auditor General for FCT and Area Councils, which is before us. We are very proactive. We discharge our duty.
Speaking on the challenges faced by the committee, the lawmaker had this to say.
Perception of auditors as a negative person. MDAs try to run away. They write letter to reschedule. They're trying to run away. Some of them have tried as much as possible to avoid appearing to answer queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation. So largely, that is just the challenge that you have. Then you have that of funding. Funding is a challenge because when you have to write letters 2-3 times to an MDA, it costs a lot of money. Each letter we courier is at a fee. So it's quite expensive, And then, aside that, the executive are not just cooperating. Only very, very few of the ministries are cooperating. The rest, they are not. They try to run away from their shadows.
During the 2022-2023 budget defense exercise, the Committee on Public Accounts rejected some of the MDA's budgets. The chairman gave us updates on the rejected budgets.
We were of the opinion that the budget proposed for Auditor General Office on Capital and overhead and personnel are grossly inadequate. One, the Auditor General has not been able to recruit workers for over 8 years now. They have aged workforce. They don't have enough personnel to discharge their duty. They don't also have enough tools to work. They need resources to conduct performance audit and programs and activities of the government. They don't have enough. And capital, you're giving them 62 million naira. So they are grossly inadequate. But ordinarily, later we reason that, Mr. President has laid his budget and the budget is dead on arrival. So the parliament now has the knife and the yam and the meat. And then it is the parliament actually that should also do justice to these matters.
He also spoke about the level of transparency and accountability in running of public accounts in Nigeria.
When you want to really ascertain transparency, efficiency, then you begin to look at value for money. And that is what I told you earlier, that is very expensive. And that's when you begin to look at performance audit. Arithmetically, 2 plus 2 might be 4. But what did you do with the 2 or the 4? You begin to look at various factors. Was there value for money? Was due process followed? Then you'll be able to establish if indeed there is transparency and efficiency.
He further told us how there can be improvements in running the public account sector in the country.
You need education. You need the various leadership of MDS needs education. Some of them are not actually aware of the position of the law. So they need to be aware, because the intention of creating those laws is not to put anybody in trouble. Even as a matter of fact, the purpose of the General's office is not to put anybody in trouble, but it's to check everyone. Like, this law exists, that you can't flout it. If you flout it, these are the implications. So citizens, our citizens that are occupying these various offices, we owe them a duty of care. They are brothers and sisters. They also elected us.
Away from his committee to the House in general, Representative Oluwole Oke had this to say about the journey of the 9th House.
Being able to do the bits we can do. You have a house under a speaker who is knowledgeable, who is sound, who knows what he's doing. Somebody that can add value to you. In my culture in Yoruba land, maybe in Hausa land too, somebody wants to give you clothes or buy you clothes, you watch what he's wearing. So if somebody lacks knowledge, how can that person, add value to you? So you have a speaker and his deputy who are matured, who are exposed, who are learnable, and so they were able to add value to members. Members are able to learn from them. Governance is not an easy thing. So they're able to intermediate between the executive and the legislature, and they've been able to add value. Look at the way they handle the ASU strike, how they're able to bring it to an end. Look at how they handle the COVID-19 pandemics. So many. We had a recession, but we're able to work with the executive to overcome all this. So we've also had our own the serious challenges because the parliament is poorly funded. But who will believe you? You can see the state of the chamber. You can see the state of infrastructure decaying. Who will believe that we're poorly funded and you're not popular? The parliament cannot compete with the executive because you don't have the resources. But the bits that we have, we've done well.
Representative Oluwole Oke represents Obokun Oriade Federal Constituency of Osun State. As a lawmaker, he enumerated some of his personal achievements so far in the 9th House.
I'm proud, I'm satisfied, I'm happy because one, by my training, by my exposure, you've asked me to man an office that I'm prepared for, that I'm trained for, and I know the subject matter. I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm an economist. So I'm also a procurement specialist, World Bank trained. So I fit the office I'm asked to man, and you can see it in my outings. So I can say that yes, under my leadership, Public Accounts Committee has been very, very productive.
Lawmaker Oluwole Oke has a message for Nigerians as well as the political class.
We should go by the rules of the game. If you want votes, go and canvass for votes. Speak to issues. I don't believe in character assassination. I don't believe in thuggery. I'm a very peaceful person. So if you want to go to the electorates, talk to them, tell them what you can do. And then let there be peaceful, orderly election. But I can tell you for free, with the deployment of BVS, introduced by NINEC, and the elections we've had in Ekiti and Osun State, I think we are good to go. I give that to President Buhari. He's done well by creating an enabling environment where free and fair elections can hold. I also commend the Chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood. He's done well. He's been proactive, unlike a fire brigade approach adopted in the past. He has planned ahead, and things are working out. So I'm very optimistic. We're going to have a very credible elections.
He spoke on other issues he wants to share with Nigerians.
As we speak now, if you look at the budget debt ratio, it's not encouraging, it's not palatable. It's a situation where you are servicing debts at 32%. Where your capital expenditure is 24% of the total budget estimate, and you are looking at the infrastructural deficit of a big country like Nigeria. So how do we do this? How do we get all the revenues into the coffers of government? How can we sanitize public finance sector? How can we get all MDAs to comply with the provision of the law, to remit every kobo, every revenue that comes in? A situation where some institutions would take all the IGR and spend it without even federal government knowing. Without any, and the only person that the crafters, the makers of our constitution, mentioned under section 8081 that will bring budget to the parliament is Mr. President. The only person that can assent to a budget before it becomes a bill, a law, is Mr. President. Except when Mr. President veto a bill, then the parliament can override his veto. And that has only happened since the beginning of democratic journey in 1999, when President Obasanjo declined asset on the NDDC bill. The parliament override his veto. And then the speaker and the Senate president signed that bill into law. But we have never had any instance of where President Buhari declining to sign budget bills. He has signed budget bills at when due. So, no agency, no minister, no DG, no provost, no rector, no vice chancellor, no DG has powers to bring budget to the parliament. It's only Mr. President that can bring budget to the parliament. Neither any member of the parliament, nor DG, nor ES, nor provost, nor rector can assent to a budget by mere signing a piece of paper and say, go and execute. No, it's illegal. It's fraud. It's fraudulent. So, we need to sanitize our public finance sector. All revenues must be accounted for.
That was lawmaker Oluwole Oke. He represents the good people of Oboku, Oriade Federal Constituency of Osun State on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. He is the Chairman House Committee on Public Accounts in the 9th House of Representatives and has been speaking on the achievement of his committee as well as the 9th House. The House is built to resume plenary sitting on Tuesday, 28 February 2023. House ticket will be on ground to bring you events from the Green Chamber. And as we sign off here, we expect feedback from you, including the benefits in your communities through the various constituency outreach programs facilitated by your representatives in the House. You can send in your feedbacks in form of comments, videos and questions through the various channels showing on your screen. And remember, you can catch up on the program through our social media platforms on display. Till we hear from you, bye for now.